Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wiseman and Jane here. Jane, as you can see, an actress in the movie, web series, and Nell is the producer and filmmaker. We're gonna talk about a couple of things, and let's see what questions we will cover today. We'll discuss how to create a web series. Maybe you can tell my audience a little bit who you are, where you're coming from, and start with some useful information on how to channel.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Wiseman. I'm from Jonesboro, Georgia. I've been living in New York for 2 years.
You like it here?
I love it. Just don't like the cold. You know?
Okay.
So,
Not for long. The summer is coming.
exactly.
Oh, hi, I'm Jane. I was born and raised in New York, so
So you used to
I'm used to this. Yeah.
Okay. How to make a web series?
Well,
Is there any secret to it?
I would say the first thing is you got to have a good idea, because your idea is the foundation of what you're doing. Secondly, once you have a good idea, you want to create. Well, your ideal is your. Well, you need to. Excuse me. You need to get a main character, so that'll be your protagonist, and then you need to make sure that he has a goal or she has a goal that she's trying to achieve, and then you have an antagonist, who is a person, place, or thing that's pretty much trying to stop that protagonist from accomplishing their goal. And once you have that, then you can get to the fun part, which is actually writing the actual production.
Okay. Is that something that based on actual experience, like my characters, Mr. Great, Mr. Prudent, MC4, they're based on real characters, like a little bit of me, a little bit of people I know, people I inspired or I care about or I want to make fun of. Do you need to have that example in you so you can draw the character pretty well, or you can just imagine the person you never thought of?
I think that when it comes to any project that you're doing, I think that you should first have a purpose. You know, why are you doing something? You know, that's the most important thing.
Why are you doing your film?
Well,
What's your purpose?
the name of our project is Asian Rocks, and the purpose is to highlight what's it like to be an Asian American right now in New York City, and the different things that they go through that it's not really talked about in Hollywood, and we want to kind of shine a light on it. And
So, with a million Asians, like in China, Chinese in China, and all this Asian population, it still doesn't have enough power in the Hollywood as the other communities. I would say the, let's say, African American community is pretty well represented now in Hollywood, comparing to other communities. Russians, even not even close. Let's say Jews, where I'm Jewish, so
Right.
at least in production, at long time we've been in a lot of Jewish folks are in the film.
Right.
Bollywood is pretty strong. Some movies in Bollywood even bigger budgets than Hollywood movies.
Right.
They are like Bollywood is so powerful nowadays. But how come Asia doesn't have that? Whether it's South Korea or Japan, it's a major serious economies and countries, but they just don't have that kind of media power as other communities have. Why?
You want me to take that?
Tell.
Well, in my experience, I just feel like Asians in front of the camera, Hollywood just doesn't want that. But if you do go to, like, let's say China or any other Asian country.
In terms of doesn't want that, do you mean like if I'm filming something at YouTube and I'm putting it on a channel, is that like people vote with their views, people vote with their
Right.
likes. So there is not much Hollywood. If you go to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or not any of those channel distributions, it's just number of people either they buy tickets or not. It's the people who are influential and can the time when a couple of people can tell watch that movie or don't watch that movie. It's past. It's out there. So look, do you think who's stopping the Asian community from being popular?
I feel like it could also be Asians in general because as at a young age, I mean, for me personally, in our culture, we're taught to go after the jobs where they make money, where you know you have a set
So
a
that's
set
not
life.
a real career.
Right.
A lot of my like I have plenty of Asian models, and usually, not that plenty. I have a few, but the message that I get is usually, I feel like banana. I feel like a do you know the expression banana? It's like a you kind of outside yellow but inside white. So
Okay.
they call and the idea is that I kind of been told by my parents I should be a doctor, a lawyer,
Right.
being an actress, being in the movie industry. It's not a serious career, so that just and they shy away from that. They don't have the ability to portray characters as they like to, rather than like there are other parents who say just I brought you here to America in order for you to be wherever you want to be.
Well, this is what I think. I think it's the Asian community just need opportunity. Just like my Africans, we had to make an opportunity for us. Hollywood didn't necessarily want us to do anything either. So I believe that it's all about making an opportunity for yourself, writing your story.
You're not Asian.
Telling
How
your
come
story.
you're helping?
Well, I feel like because I'm a minority and I see what we've been through, I'm able to look at other minorities and say, you know what can I do to try to help my brethren to become better? Anything that I can do to help out, another community, because we wouldn't be where we are if people didn't help us out. So that's why I feel like I can give back now,
Gotcha.
because now that we're in a position that we have a little bit of power, I feel that it's time to, help another community, give back, see what you can do to help someone else.
Next question. Let me change the topic a little bit. How to bring out a character potential to make the most change in the world? That's kind of leads to what you was trying to say, helping people. How do you bring the character to change the world?
So, for actors in general, I feel like they need to embody the character. So not just play a part. Like you have to think about the character, where they're from, how did they get to this position, what kind of social environment they grew up in, and I feel like that makes the character. And like the thing with Asian Rocks and the character Alex is that a lot of it is based on my life, and like I don't want to say struggles, but
Tough.
yeah, like the situations that I had to go through as an Asian American in New York City in general. I feel like the only differences between her and I is that she likes to, her reactions to certain situations are a lot more classier than what I would say.
Let me take you into another route a little bit.
Sure.
How to produce a movie with no experience and no money. A lot of people want to make a series. What it takes, how do you get things done?
Well, I would say the first thing is you have to believe in yourself. Without belief, there's nothing. So I feel like, I guess I'll boil it down to three things. See, believe, achieve. First, you got to see it. You got to have a vision. A vision of what you want out of life, a vision of what you want to do. The second thing you do is you got to believe in that vision. You got to believe that you can do it. Believe that anything's possible. And then you can do it. Then you can achieve it. See, believe, and achieve.
Like in the Bible, first was the word and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
How do you know when to take risk and know if the risk will pay off or not? What risk do you guys take, and what do you think of risk?
Well, you don't know.
How
like,
do you assess risk?
how do you assess it?
Assess.
The thing is that you never know when you're taking a big risk, a risk or not. Like, you just have to do it. Everyone fails in life, but you can't be afraid of the failure. So, you just go after what you want, go after what you believe
But
in.
what kind of risk do you face making a web series? You're gonna be sued by someone. You're gonna fail. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna waste time. What risk do you consider in the web series?
All right, well, I'll say this. You should never be afraid of failure. You should definitely be afraid of not trying. That's to be the biggest thing. I got a funny story to tell you. So it started off by you know, just talking with her and hearing about her story and how she's an actress and, you know, the things that's going on in her life. And I said, you know what, we should do a story about your life and we should show what's it like. And I said, you know, what do you think about the name Asian Rocks? And she was against it at first, but once we started writing, she kind of was like, hey, this is good. So at that point, we just had a script. We had nothing. I've only been here 2 years. I didn't have any contacts. I didn't know anybody. So we had a script. And one of the persons that I met interning was like, hey, I have a friend who's a director of photography and they need a first AC. Can you do that? And I said, you know what? I need to get a crew. So I said, sure, I could do this. I could pull lenses. So I've never pulled lenses in my life. So what I did is I went to PCNE and, excuse me, not PCNE, B&H on 34th. And I paid a guy $20, 5 days straight, to teach me how to pull focus. And I was there for like 4 or 5 hours. And to the point where the manager was like, look, this guy's been talking to you for 4 hours. What's going on? And I was like, well, look, I have a gig that I have to do next week, and I don't know how to do it. So he was like, all right. So I came back, and I learned. Now, the day before the shoot, which is next week, I get a phone call from the DP. Her name is Marlene Masri. And she was like, hey, the director, producer had differences. They postponed the production, so it's canceled. So I'm thinking like, yo, I just spent 4 hours a day for the last 5 days trying to learn how to pull focus, and I never actually got to do it. And I'll say, look, this is the moment right now. Ask her if she'll be your DP on your project. So I said, hey, Marlene, would you consider, you know, I have a project I want to produce. Would you consider being my DP? She was like, well, I don't really know you, so would you allow me to read the script? I'm like, yeah. So I sent her the script. Within 2 hours, she called me back. She was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. I'd love to be your DP. And then at that point, I told her, look, I have no money. I have no resource. I can't pay you, but, you know, if you're willing to help me. She's like, you know what? I like the project. Don't know you, but I'll do it. So with her, she had equipment, she had cameras, she had lighting, she had everything. So, and then she told me, she was like, well, look, you need a crew. Why don't you go to Craigslist and put out an ad and see what you can do? I said, okay. Never used Craigslist like that before, so I was like, all right. So I went to Craigslist, had a whole crew list of people I needed, and I took a chance. I say within 2 days, I got like 50 emails from people who had their own equipment, who was willing to work and do whatever. So all of a sudden, we come from not having nobody, just the two of us. Now we have an entire crew, and everybody's willing to work with us for free because they love what we're doing, they love the project, and of course, they love our leading actress. So
Okay.
so that's how you get something done with no money and no experience.
And Craigslist.
Yes, guys, Craigslist works. We spoke on Craigslist. That's so it works. How to start believing in your own work and talent? I don't know if you kind of answered that a little bit in the last question, but my concern is how to convert the belief and energy and all that inspiration into the actions going through. Is there any secret to move from everybody wants to work and the nice energy to consistency and the result and editing and the publishing and distribution, all that, you know, step by step, so you don't lose that crew? Because the energy, it works today, tomorrow they have something else, they move to another project, so it's not there forever. You cannot live your life just on inspiration, because inspiration today, tomorrow you're inspired by something else.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, how do you? But if you want to make a series, it's not just one day. It could be a couple of years. Like every year a different series or every month. How do you sustain that?
I feel like this project, within our crew, like, we all talk amongst each other. We're always like trying to get out different ideas, and we support each other. You know, we don't try to like bring each other down. And then the thing about this project, it's a lot bigger than the both of us now. So if we stop believing in this project, then we're letting a lot of people down, a lot. And not just us, not just our crew, but like
the fear of being made fun of.
Of course, that drives you.
So other people looking up to you, that's what drives you.
That can be a factor, but everyone has their own personal reasons as to why they're inspired by something, or they feel like they can.
For example,
like for me,
what kind of personal reasons could be?
Oh, for me, like I just want other people, like other Asians, especially. I mean, this web
Come out of
series.
the closet, like,
No. I was
you're
just gonna
gonna
say.
do
I
it.
was just gonna say. So like this web series can touch anybody, anybody, race, color, creed, gender, doesn't matter. The thing is that for Asians in general, like I speak to a lot of Asians where they're not happy with the way that they look, that they're like how their lives are, and it's like no matter how you were born, I want people to love themselves, no matter what. You know, you were put on this earth for a reason, and
Do you think it comes from the origin? Like you've been taught that you have to study, you have to change yourself. Like even I remember when in China they had little girls with the shoes and they cover the shoes so
with
the
their feet.
The feet doesn't grow. So it's just telling them if the way you're born, you're not that pretty. In order to be that pretty, you have to hold your feet so it doesn't grow.
Sure,
And
it can
that-
come from culture. It can also come from European standards because that's what everyone looks at nowadays. So, it's
Do you think it's a symbol? Like a lot of Western standards and beliefs are obviously imposed on other nations, but also states are pretty much influenced by the rest of the world as well. Do you think it goes the other way? I think with this so many opportunities in internet, Asia, like China, has so many people that can actually influence the Western world more than the.
Well, let me say
Western
this.
world.
Asian Rocks is for Asian Americans. I just want
Right.
to put that out there
Right.
because the problem is when we talk about Asians, they always talk
They
about
already
China
know that
and
this
Korea.
is. How do you address
But-
the general public, the
But
ones
what we're
who, or
doing
the other
is we're doing a show for the Asian Americans that are here because the problem is people believe that just because they look like they're Asian, like from another country, that they're not from here. They've been here for 200 years. So this show is to show what's it like for them. So this show will highlight it as Americans, So I don't understand what's going on in China or Korea, but I know what's going on
We've
with
been
the
there,
Asian community
right.
right here. So this show will highlight
Oh,
the Americans.
American way of.
Exactly.
I see. If people wants to follow you or look you up or your film, what would be social media to look you up? Instagram, Facebook, like how they can contact if someone wants to watch the movie series or fund you or work with you. Can you tell the camera how to reach out?
Well, yes, we are absolutely looking for funding. We'd be appreciative for anything that we get. We've already shot 6 episodes, and we got to shoot 7 more. We already have an air date. It's going to be airing the 2nd week of May, and we're just, we're looking. Well, one, we're going to put it on YouTube. It's going to be YouTube, and it's also going to be on Facebook. And we also have a kicker that a lot of people like behind the scenes. So we have each episode that's going to come out on a Monday. The Thursday, we're going to have a behind the scenes episode that comes out, and we're going to air that on Instagram. So we're going to have the YouTube channel, a Facebook page, and then we're also going to use it Instagram for the behind the scenes footage.
But do you have something now? If someone wants to join you or reach out to you, is there like a way to reach out?
Yes. All right. So you can reach me. My Facebook page is my first and last name, which is Wiseman, Wizeman, Lewis, Lewis. Also, you can reach me on my email, which is B as in boy, Lewis 888 @bellsouth.net.
Cool. Thank you, guys.